welcome to the worst thing you have ever done behind the scenes with our writers of the film. So here in studio via Zoom, we have Autumn Palen. So welcome, Autumn, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Like super excited to be able to talk to you about your baby. You wrote the original script for this film, and so we want to talk a little bit about that and get to know you as well. So first and foremost, like, where are you from?
Sure, I'm from San Diego.
San Diego. Okay, so right here in California. Nice. Okay, have you always wanted to be a writer, or is this something that you developed over time?
Yeah, I feel like I've loved making little like comics or stories for friends since I was a kid. I went to USC for film and TV production, and have been able to make like little short films during and since then. In middle school, my friends and I would be sick during PE, and then go film sketches on Motorola Razor. So it's been a long time coming.
I love that. That creativity was always trying to find a way out in the expression of yourself. Yeah, so have you written like a plethora of scripts and screenplays?
I suppose a variety of different mediums and lengths and stuff like that. I've made a couple others. Made one about eating the Mona Lisa. Made one about if a partner would still love their girlfriend if she were a worm, and written some spec pilots and writing a feature.
What was the inspiration behind this script for the worst thing you've ever done?
It was kind of brought about by the notion of like someone on like their kind of personal social periphery, being in this like pressure cooker for themselves, and having to admit that that worst thing that they'd done was that night. In high school, I would kind of eat lunch alone and didn't go to parties, that sort of thing. Not that I haven't murdered anyone, but myself as like I would watch things like Skins, like the British show Skins, and be like, is everyone like doing like acid and having sex and stuff? And just like not know, like just so having the contrast of like a very reserved person and then very debaucherous like peers who have lived for the same amount of time in the same place, but like an entirely different existence, and just seeing what them at like the hilt of their like worst things would have theoretically been by that point. So yeah, just like how different lives can be, even with so many different overlapping control factors.
Beautiful. And so what has it been like, or the experience of getting your film into the hands of Black Castle? Tell us about that process.
Sure thing. Yeah. So I think this was a couple years ago. They had the call for scripts, and I submitted it and was felt grateful for the chance that it would just be produced. I also make my own sort of short films as sometimes a one-man band, or with very small teams, to be able to like hand this off and then turn around, and then it's like this sweeping production with like beautiful visuals and amazing performances. It felt like, oh wow, this is like, it felt surreal to just be like, I didn't even have to think about how this would be made. So it's been like a real an experience I've been really grateful for, to just have something like, from my perspective, not from anyone who's like producing it amazingly, but yeah, from my perspective, it's just like, oh, it just magically exists. And it's been a wonderful experience.
Like, voila, it's done. And that voila is a lot of work that goes in behind the scenes, which is why we're bringing people behind the scenes to understand the process and what goes into making a film. And it starts with the writing, it starts with a story. And so what was it like because your original concept, what was written, has been rewritten in some aspects. And so what was that like for you to be able to see some of the changes that happened within the script?
Yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, because I think, in some ways, I think mine was, aside from the cutaway scenes of the worst things, it was essentially just that one pocket location of that living room. So seeing it expand bigger, because I feel like a lot of times, yeah, especially writing a script, I do kind of limit it and contain it into like what is what's minimal locations, what's minimal, you know, amounts of people or that sort of thing. So it's to see it expand is amazing, and it also feels like just to have like knowing that it's like my idea was the seed and then just seeing it blossom, become like a full plant, while being the source, and then having someone like yes and it into something much greater was really surreal.
Love that so much. And you blessed us with coming to set and having that experience of being there as the project was actually being filmed. So tell us a little bit about that experience for you.
The opportunity to be able to come to set, and that was also funny to see like people who were in the cast just like they like leapt off the page, you know, the envisioning a script coming to life, and it was beautiful location, great cinematography, and you know, it just to see it all like from the brain to the page to the screen is really, really wild. And yeah, just such a bright, sweet, kind team who all seem to be chugging along together really nicely. It was just fun to, you know, I got to I came on as like a genie swing, so it was fun to be like, I'm helping, I'm adding lights, it's lit a little bit more, night exterior.
And I get to see my project come to life.
Yeah, exactly. Bring the light bulb on.
And so because of course there are writers who are out there who are viewing this right now, hearing your story, what is it that you would say to upcoming writers? Like what words of inspiration or guidance or direction would you give?
Sure, yeah. I'd say it's better to have something on the page than nothing at all. Just, you know, at least a first go, you know, get your thoughts down. I also think it's really valuable to share those words with others. And I think a lot of times, you know, we know that filmmaking is a very collaborative experience, but I think sometimes people do forget that every step is, including the writing, the first step. So yeah, like reaching out and not being afraid to share a script and ask for notes, or ask for a collaborator if you want, or if you feel like there's someone in your world who has like a similar voice or a different voice, you know, and you just want to pick their brain about where your story should go or how they would revise it. Yeah. So get your thoughts down and rely on the kindness of strangers in a very Blanche Dubois way.
Yeah, Blanche Dubois. I love it. Little Golden Girls. Yes. And I also want to find out from you, because you are a multi-hyphenate. So what are some of the other things that you also do in this industry, and what's coming up next for you?
Sure, yeah. So I also I am a cinematographer as well. So I have 3 shorts at LA Shorts that I DP'd. And one of the 3 I also co-wrote and directed and edited. From the 10th to the 20th, I'm going to be in New Orleans DPing a short doc that won a Library of Congress grant. So I'm going to be capturing some 6 Louisiana like musical groups talking about like language preservation and for like French and Corrivigny, Louisiana Creole. So
okay, Miss Louisiana, now you know it's my hometown. Look.
yeah. So it's gonna be really fun. It's gonna be lovely, and and then I am also I'm writing a screenplay about like it's like a pitch black comedy about art overlapping with trauma and where people, someone who feels like they can only create if they're unhappy, and kind of a satire of that mindset, with a little bit of murder. A little
bit of murder.
My teaser, just a little bit, just a normal amount.
A normal amount of murder. Okay.
Less than the short. Also love editing, and I just don't have strong suit in like things like sound. But aside from that, I think I try and do any hyphen. I'll collect any hyphen. that will be handed to me. Yeah.
So what I would love for you to just look directly into the camera and then tell us, what's the worst thing you've ever done?
Oh my gosh. Wait, that's a great yeah, that's a great question. The worst thing I've ever done is accidentally open someone else's mail.
Mm. Thank you so much for joining us here, Autumn Palen, our writer, The Worst Thing You've Ever Done. I'm Havilah Malone, our executive producer and head casting director, and you stay tuned for more behind the scenes.
What's the worst thing you've ever done?